Learning how to get approved for a home loan can be super stressful. I just went through the process and I wanted to share with you guys how to get approved for a home loan. That's why I'm here. That's why you click on this video. So if you're interested, let's just get right into it.
I just called you up to let you know your man been messing around. He been messing around. I guess he didn't know you at all, cause he swam in my DM.
Hey friends, welcome to Wede Unlimited. If you're new, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to know when I post. So into this video, I just purchased a home and I wanted to kind of share my ideas with you guys, where to go, how to begin. So for me personally, I'm going to go over my own personal experience, and I hope I can help somebody out there who's trying to figure out what to do. Where do I go? Okay, because this is my second time buying a house, I kind of knew who to call. But if it's your first time buying a home, you will want to call your bank and you want to let them know, like, okay, I'm trying to apply for a home loan, and I need to know what are your interest rate, how much am I qualified for. Those are the questions you want to ask, because your bank can probably be set at a certain interest rate and a certain amount of money they can give you based off of your credit score. If you call them, you're not satisfied with the answer they're giving you, you can contact a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker, the difference is they have more access into more banks. They can give you different option of interest rate. They can give you more option of loan. So that is the difference. So you want to try both and see who gives you the better. It's always, you have to search and see who giving you the better deal. You always want the better deal. I want to get a loan from a bank that's going to give me the lowest interest rate, not a high interest rate. So you want to do that. Once you figure out that option, you're going to do what it called a pre-qualification loan, pre-qualification application. So that means they are going to run your credit. They have to run your credit in order for them to give you what they have to run your credit to see where you stand. So for example, they will ask you, you will fill out form like, your name, just regular stuff, social security number, things like that, how much you make, because that is important. They want to know your income, and you want to put all of that on the paper. And then, probably like a day or two, the mortgage broker will get back to you and say, hey, you're pre-qualified, or no, you're not pre-qualified. Those are the steps. Now, if you are pre-qualified, you're excited, you're happy, you're like, yes, let's get this going. If you're not pre-qualified, it's not the end of the world, okay? You always want to make sure where you're at in life, that give you a start anyways, to see, okay, what do I need to work on to get pre-qualified? Those are things they can help you with, like, okay, maybe you need to pay this credit card bill off, or maybe you need to work on this loan. So they give you things that you need to work on. To give you, the broker will go over with you, like, okay, your credit score has this on here, fix this, and then we can try again. So if you don't get approved, it's not the end of the world. Do not get discouraged, okay? Just work on whatever it is they tell you to work on, and then that's a step. The first step, you had the courage and you went and applied for this loan to see where you even stand. So I want to keep this video very short and very detailed. So I think I'm gonna not talk a lot, because when I start talking, I just keep going. Now, if you get approved, you start the process. You get this pre-qualification loan, and then you have an agent, like a realtor. A realtor start showing you different houses. Of course, you know what you want. You know how many bedrooms you want. You know what you're looking for. Do you want a basement? Do you want a basement? Those are things like you start to think of, or before you even apply for the pre-qualification. So then you start looking for houses, and once you start looking for houses, that is the best and the fun part. But you're pre-qualified. How do you get pre-qualified? What are they looking for you to get pre-qualified? And those things is based off of your credit, it's based off of your income. Income would be, you have to be to a job for at least 2 years. If you are a receptionist, you want to be a receptionist for 2 years. You don't want to be a receptionist for 6 months and then be a caregiver for 3 months. You want it to be consistent. You're looking for consistency, okay? They want to see consistent income. They want to make sure that this person was a chef for 2 years, and they've been getting this consistent income for 2 years. That will help you a lot more, okay? seeing that consistency. If you have two jobs, perfect. If you've been to both jobs for 2 years, perfect. The more income, the better. They go off of whatever income you have and it's legit in the system. You can prove it as long as you can prove it. When it comes to loan, it has to be proved. Everything has to be approved. If I'm telling I'm making 100,000, I have to show proof that I am making 100,000. There's no ways around it. You cannot make that up. You have to be making that amount. So whatever you put on that paper, please keep in mind it have to be legit and it have to be approved because they will check. People, don't go break your heart if you know what you put on that paper is not true because they will find out. So whatever my advice would be, whatever you put on that paper, make sure that it's legit and it can be proven. Okay, you can show proof of it. I'm gonna give my pay stub that's showing proof that I make 100,000. Just an example. Okay, so you start the process. You tell them how much you make. You giving proof of those things. So your W-2s, all of those are important documents that they are gonna ask you for. So keep that in mind. So now you got the job, you've been there for 2 years, check, that's qualified. You're making a certain amount of income, check, that is qualified, okay? And then you go into as far as what loans do you want? Based off of your pre-qualification and what box you fit in, I know personally about 2 loans you can get, and I'm familiar with those 2 loans, is FHA and conventional loan. FHA credit score, your credit score can be 500. Conventional, your credit score has to be 620. So the broker will kind of go over it with you of what credit, of what loan best fit you, like if you should do FHA or conventional. That's something you and your broker can talk about and see like which one you want to do. So a FHA loan can only go up to, I think it goes to 431,000. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but I will link it in here when I find the exact number. So for example, if you want to buy a house that's like 500,000, FHA is 431,000. The rest of that money, you have to come out of pocket. I think the difference is conventional, they don't have a limit. I don't want to quote that, but I think, don't quote me on this. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm just going over my experience. I don't think they have a limit, but it's all about your pocket and how much money you have. So if a house is 500,000, you have conventional loan, why not? You can afford, you can pay the rest of the money out of your pocket, so keep it going. But if you want to borrow a loan, that word borrow, credit, whatever a loan, then you have to stay within the budget. So if it's 431,000, you want to make sure your house is about exactly that price or a little bit lower than that price, or else you will have to pay out of pocket. So keep that in mind. It also gets very personal to get into your business. There's no privacy at this point. They will ask you for bank statements. Like I told you, they will ask you for proof of these things that you're saying that you have. If you say you have 2 jobs, they want the income. If you're saying you have whatever amount, and that's another thing. They are going to, you have to put a percentage down based over how much the house costs. You and your broker, your realtor, you will talk about it. If a house is 400,000, they will tell you a percentage you need to put down before you close on the home. Whatever that percentage is, they're going to ask you to see that. They want to see that in your bank account because they're not going to go through all this process if you don't got the money in your account. You know what I mean? They want to see that money. So they're going to ask you. I didn't show them the money in my account. Did I show them in the beginning? I'm not sure. I think once I found the house, that's when they asked me for my bank account statement and things like that. So they want to see your bank account statement. If anybody give you money, that's another thing. If anybody give you money, let's say your mom give you money, whoever give you money, if that money was transferred within that time period that you print that statement out of your bank, they want to see proof. They're gonna tell you to ask that person for their bank account. They just want to make sure this money is legit and it's nothing like illegal or whatever is going on. So whatever you do, my advice would be if someone giving you money, put that money already in your account a while ago, so where you don't have to go all the way back to show when that money came into your account, if that makes sense. Also, lenders are going to use gross monthly income before tax. That's how they will determine the amount of loan that they're going to give you. Advice I would give personally would be, make sure you get pre-approval first before you even start looking for a home, because you don't want to go get a home and then you're not pre-approved and then you're already in love with this house, and then when you try to get a pre-approval, then you don't have the house. Like, you can't get it because then you have to wait. So make sure you're pre-qualified first, and that's the very first step that you have to do, is to get pre-qualified. That would be calling your bank, getting a mortgage broker to get pre-qualified before you even start going out with your realtor to look for a house, because then the pre-qualification tells you the amount of loan of your budget of how much the house can cost. So if your pre-qualification say $431,000, you want to keep that within that budget. Or if balling, you got the money, then why not, right? But if you don't, you want to stay within the budget. Another important thing is to do look at your debt to income ratio. This is so important. What do I mean by this? You don't want to owe any loans. You don't want to owe any credit cards. You want to make sure your credit is clear as clear can be, okay? You want to make sure you don't owe zero credit cards. You don't want to owe any credit card bills. At least for me, that's what I did. I made sure I wasn't owing no credit card bills. I made sure that I wasn't paying any card note. I paid my car off, because you set a goal and then you work towards your goal. So if you want to buy a house, okay, well, before I start this process, my first goal is to pay this bill off before I start, because your debt to income ratio can play a part in you getting your loan. So if you owe a lot of money, you might get less money than you want. So if you want a house that's like $400,000 and your debt to income ratio is high, they might give you $200,000. So why not just fix what you need to fix to get what you want, compared to, getting something that you really don't want? So my advice would be, make sure you do not owe any loan. Of course, student loan, we all guilty. I owe student loan. That's one thing on my credit that's going to be there for a little bit. I'm trying, but it's going to be for a little bit. So student loan, you can't fight it, but they will look at your student loan. Let's say if your student loan is $500 a month, they will deduct that out of your paycheck to make sure whatever mortgage you're getting, however it's going to be, you're able to afford. Any bank that they just want to make sure that if they give you this money, a lot of money, you can afford it. That's why the consistency in your income and all of those things plays a role. That's why it's important. So just lower your credit. Make sure you don't owe thousands of dollars on credit cards and those kind of things. My next tip would be, for me personally, I don't use credit cards if I don't have the money to pay it off. We use credit card because we want to build our credit, right? So for example, if I use a credit card and I charge, let's say $3,000, and it's best to pay it before it's due, that would be my advice, because that's what I do. I pay it off before it's even due, before the due date, and I do pay the full amount. I don't pay half. I don't pay, you know how to give it like $30? If you're paying $30 out of $3,000, that don't look good. So you want to pay, if you can't afford to pay the whole thing, my advice would be, maybe don't use the credit card, or pay a little bit more amount, where it's not messing up with your credit. So don't charge nothing that you cannot afford. Make sure when you do charge those things, you pay them off. That make your credit score looks good. Makes the lender looks like, the loan people to be like, wow, she paid her stuff on time. She can afford to pay this. So all of those things would be things that you need to do when you're trying to get this loan, okay? Another advice I will give you, very, very important, guys. Come closer, listen. Another important advice, and people make the mistakes all the time. If you're in a process of buying a house, do not use your credit cards, okay? Do not use it, because that, even though you got pre-approved and you're okay, they're going to run your credit score again. Like maybe at the end, let's say if I found a house and this is a house, they're going to run that credit again, depending on the bank or wherever you go. For me personally, they had to run that credit again. So if you go ahead and start buying furniture using your credit cards, they're going to see that and they're going to be like, okay, well, now your debt to income ratio is high, so we cannot give you this loan. That is so heartbroken. You don't want to do that. If you don't take anything out of this video, this is just one thing to remember. When you get pre-approved, when you're looking for a home, Do not use your credit cards until you sign that paper, okay? When you sign that paper that day, you can swipe as much as you want to. That is it. So I hope you guys find this video interesting. This is far of what I do on my channel, but I wanted to touch base because I just went through the process to kind of give you ideas or how to give you ideas of how to start to look for a home, because I know some people don't already know how to even go about getting a mortgage and things like that. But yes, you can start with your bank and things of that nature. So I hope you find this video helpful. I hope that if you're looking to buy a home, do not be discouraged. I know everyone keeps saying the market is going to get better. It's going to get better. I personally don't know. I just know I couldn't wait another year to buy a house. I already waited a year to buy a house, so I didn't want to wait any longer to see when the market's going to get better. So if you're in this process and this is what you want to do, just go ahead and do it. Be smart about it. Find your home. Enjoy your home. It's the best feeling. It's the best accomplishment. I think I will do another episode of if you get the house, if you see the house that you love, what to look for, if you should purchase this home, things like that. If you're interested in that, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you have any questions for me. I hope this was helpful. Thanks, guys. Bye.